All right, yeah, fine.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the regular scheduled meeting of the Angelina County Commissioners Court. It is Tuesday, July the 24th, 2018. We're honored this morning to have two of our local preachers here, Reverend Randy Brown from Southside and Reverend Cindy Duran from Kelce's United Methodist Church. And I think it'd be good for both of them to have a word with us this morning. So if y'all please stand and then remain standing for the pledge.
Heavenly Father, we come together to set aside any differences we might have, to seek of your wisdom in all matters coming before us today, Lord. We lift up our officers, our police officers, and our sheriff's department for their health. Several of them battling cancer, Lord, but we give that to you, knowing that you are bigger than that. We lift up those who protect us in every way. We lift up these that are sitting before us now for their wisdom to come from you, for you to take care of their families, that they not be focused on the task at hand, Lord. We lay all of this at your feet and just humbly beseech you to care for our loved ones, for our city, to guide us in the way that you would have us go.
Lord, again, just as Cindy prayed, Lord, we just thank you, Lord, for your goodness and your love. Thank you for allowing us to be born in such a great country and to live in such a great community. We pray for the judge and these commissioners and others. Obviously, a lot of things that need to be discussed today, and this many people here today, I know that a lot of decisions need to be made. So I just ask, God, that you give wisdom and discernment. And I pray, God, that you continue to unite our community, Lord, that we be one, and that we have a love for you and for your word and for your kingdom. We pray these things in Christ's name.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Both of you. Please join us in the pledge of the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join us in the pledge of the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank y'all. First action item on the agenda this morning is item number 4. It's the appearance of Dean Yates with Gouverneur Lassiter Strong to discuss and request approval of preliminary plat in Wooded Acres subdivision in precinct number 1. Dean?
Commissioners, I'm here this morning on behalf of our client, Kerry Cotton, who wishes to purchase. He has a contract on lots 1 through 5, Wooded Acres off 706 subdivision, and he wants to make a 1-lot subdivision combining those 5 lots into one. And he would also wants to lift the deed restrictions off of it when he does it. I have a copy of a preliminary plat here.
What are the restrictions? What are the restrictions on there now?
The restrictions on there now, for Wooded Acres off 706, are no trailers, mobile homes, motor homes, basements, tents, shacks, garages. There's 2 pages of restrictions that are on there.
Who filed that little restriction when they platted this property out there? That's something, I don't know that the court has authority to take away a deed restriction that's filed by another individual who filed this when that property was divided.
Okay.
They're going to have to go back to those original property owners
Correct.
probably and get those deed restrictions
Correct.
amended. Which,
And if they did that, does the commissioners court have a problem with? Okay.
I don't think
So
we
if
have,
they went to
Kerry, I
those.
don't think we have authority over a deed restriction that's filed by an individual when they plat a piece of property or when they take that deed restriction off, right?
Yes, my knowledge is not, the owner of those properties.
Yeah. Yes, so you just need to contact those property owners who
Okay.
filed that little strand and now own those pieces of divided property and have them agree.
Okay.
Amend those restrictions.
Okay. So,
All we can do now is act on platting, combining those 4 lots or 5 lots.
5 lots,
into one
correct.
lot. Is that what he's trying to do?
yes, sir.
And that's, whose precinct is it in?
Mine,
Yours, okay.
yep. Yeah, I don't see a problem with doing that.
as
Okay.
far as putting the 5 lots together. You're just gonna make one residence, right? Yeah, that's what I thought was happening here, so. And I don't see any problem with it. Where's your entrance gonna be? I'm sorry. The entrance to it, I mean, it's gonna come off 706 or
Yeah.
down that little,
All 706.
okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it at all.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We got a motion second to approve combining the lots 1 through 5 into a single lot, is that of 4.95 acres, is that right? All right, any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks, Dick. Item number 5 is appearance of Ben Bartlett with Bartlett Baggage and Chance Insurance Company. Discuss and request approval to authorize a short-term renewal of the property, general liability, business, auto, law enforcement liability, and the umbrella liability, into a short-term renewal for the purpose of getting a uniform renewal date for these primary insurance policies for the county. Ben?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners, Judge, Amy, Janice, how are you doing this morning? Good to see you again. One note, I see one line missing, I see in the agenda is the inland marine coverage. That's part and parcel of that. It's noted on the letter that I presented you guys. As you're aware, we have these lines of coverage that expire on July 29th of each year. That's our anniversary date. Long decades ago, the public officials liability was issued and set at a different date, September 16th, and it will expire September 16th, 2018, which basically, those are the two largest pieces of insurance that the county has to meet and approve each year. So our recommendation, and this comes from our marketing efforts this year as well, is to basically renew the coverage with Travelers at the same premium rate as what you approved in 2017. Basically 49 days worth of coverage, which if you take the expiring premium of $281,251, divide that by 365, multiply it times 49, that arrives at plus or minus $37,723 for that 49-day period. That will get us a common effective date with our public officials, and then bring those together and give us a bit more clout in marketing those as a unit, rather than separating out, and likely generate more interest in the marketplace. So that's the proposal.
You proposing to add to these 5 one more?
No. Well, yes, and that was just one error I pointed out in the agenda, that should also include inland marine coverage. That's part and parcel of this package. That's the equipment. That's all the tractors and bulldozers and.
I'm thinking he just said he just got left off when
Left
they
off the
transferred the
agenda.
first, over here to put on the agenda. That just got left off of that list, but it's included in all.
Yeah, it's already included there, Kenneth. It has been for
Okay,
decades, so
all right.
we're good.
All right, I don't know, Bill, that would straighten me out.
Yeah, well, I tell you, if I can keep you from calling Bill, I'll do anything.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to approve extending the current coverage at the current rate until September the 16th to allow us to bid all these in one package and hopefully attract better interest and better rates for the county. Any other question, discussion?
Yes, what was that other one? I'm sorry.
I
What was that
apologize.
last one that's not on here?
It's
Oh,
on-
I'm sorry, the inland marine, that's equipment, that's mobile
It's
equipment.
on your letter, at the top of your letter.
Yeah, if you
there.
look at the letter that I sent in the
Uh-huh.
subject line, it's included there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's all your road equipment and
Yeah.
bulldozers.
Okay.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
I got you, thank you.
Anything that moves is not licensed.
Yeah.
All right, any other discussion or question? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Yes, sir. Anything you need to say?
And not at this point, Judge, I will after the fact, but I'll get you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on down to item number 6, is a discussion action on a proposal or a proposed easement agreement with BTA ETG Gathering Limited Liability Company providing for perpetual pipeline easement, 50 feet in width and 81.41 feet in length on 2 adjoining tracts of land owned by Angelina County in the William Plucker Survey, A501, Angelina County. I believe, Commissioner Pitt, this is in your precinct.
Yes, sir.
Kerry, you have been in lengthy discussions with BTA ETG Gathering, and you want to kind of touch on this easement agreement, make sure all the parties understand what we're getting into.
Yes, sir, Judge. This proposal did come through my office, Judge, Commissioners. You have before you this morning a proposal for the granting of a perpetual pipeline easement to BTA ETG Gathering LLC, is the company's name. They're constructing a pipeline in that area to transport gas from some of the wells that are being put in place by BP. And as I understand it, the pipeline will connect with an existing pipeline in Nacogdoches County for the transportation of gas from our county to that pipeline. And here this morning with as representatives of the company, we have Mr. Jamie Brown and Mr. Bo Reisinger. And they're here if you have any questions about it. I have been involved in the negotiation of the agreement, and it calls for a 50-foot easement to cross our 2 small tracts. And I provided you with a letter, I think, to give you some detail on that. You should also have in your packet a copy of the proposed agreement, as well as a survey plat that shows essentially a picture of the tract and the easement itself. These are 2 small tracts. As you may recall, we recently signed an oil and gas lease on these same 2 tracts. They're basically located under the Jack Narron roadway in Commissioner Pitt's precinct. And this pipeline easement will cross these 2 tracts. The tract at the point of crossing is a little over 80 foot in width, so they're very small tracts. In any event, I've reviewed the agreement and been involved in negotiations. I think from a legal standpoint, it's in good shape for consideration by the court. My primary concern was the fact that there is a public roadway that crosses these tracts, and so we've inserted some provisions that specify that the county has a right to continue to maintain that public roadway, and that the pipeline company will not interfere with our use of that roadway in any way, and if there are any damages to the road, that they'll be responsible for those. The construction process, as I understand it, involves actually boring under the road, and the agreement calls for it to be at least 5 feet deep at the point of where it crosses our easement. And that's essentially my knowledge of the proposal. I'll be glad to answer any questions. And like I said, also we've got 2 representatives here to give you some more information if you need. My question was, were you gonna bore or were you gonna?
On the adjacent tracts to the south and the north, yes, sir. So we would need to clear a little bit of the easement just for access, but no digging on your property, everything would be done.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm assuming under Section 3, where it talks about y'all having the right to change the slopes of cuts and fields and ensure proper level, that's the slopes and cuts of the bore that you're gonna run the pipeline through, not the ditches on the edge of the road.
We're not gonna dig on anything else, track at all, sir. Just some minor clearing for access is our difference.
Terry, where's Jack Near?
Moffett, at the end of 842, turns into Jack Narron.
Is that where the truck laid over?
Yeah, on that road. We've had another one this weekend turn
Oh,
over
really?
down there.
Another truck turned over?
Pretty bad wreck.
There's a good amount of activity down there.
Yeah.
And that probably belongs to Nacogdoches County.
No, but
Is
the
it where you
pipeline that they'll be running from those wells over there in Moffett to Nacogdoches.
Connecting to Nacogdoches.
How big a line is it?
16-inch line.
16.
We have existing assets south of where this track in question is, and then also north in Nacogdoches County. So we're just looping those 2 lines together as our proposal.
thing I would like to add is the $2,000 should go into Angelina County Precinct 3's Road and Bridge, since we're the ones that's affected by that.
Okay.
It don't hurt to ask. I don't see a problem with that.
I'll support that. Oh, Lordy.
How do y'all feel about the easement?
I don't see a problem with it.
You don't, Terry?
No, I don't.
Okay.
You want an motion?
I will make a motion
They
to
can
accept.
authorize me to sign that easement too.
I make a motion to accept that and authorize the judge to sign it.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the pipeline easement between Angelina County and BTAETG, and authorizing the county judge to sign this agreement. Any other discussion or questions while we have representatives here? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for your time.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, gentlemen. Get this executed, get it to y'all, get y'all's attorney will execute.
That's correct, and then we'll bring it to this kind lady, get it recorded, and deliver it back to you.
Good deal. I think we have 2 copies here, too.
I submitted 2 originals.
I'll get them signed if y'all want to hang around just a
We
minute.
will hang around, and I just need direction on who to write this check to.
Good deal. Yeah, well.
I don't know who to write checks.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Item number 7 is discussion action on approval of an interlocal agreement between Angelina County and Houston County for the housing of overflow inmates at Angelina County Jail. Chief, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, how are y'all?
Good.
Fine.
I think, Carrie, you looked over this. I reviewed it this morning after you sent it to me. I don't think there's any pretty standard agreement.
There was no problem, there was one provision on liability that was requested, Houston County added, so everything was written.
I think it's a pretty standard agreement between the counties to utilize their space for jails. And I think it's at rate of $35 a day, is that right?
That's correct.
About how many inmates y'all plan to?
We sent 2 about 2 weeks ago on, the 15th. 10, I'm sorry, we sent 10.
Yeah.
We've already, received all of them back. We picked we had one released from Houston County, he bonded out, and then we had one that, had to go somewhere else. So we only had 8 there, so yesterday we picked them up.
Good. Thank you.
So we're actually already doing this.
Well, we didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
We, on the 15th, I was called into work. They were shorthanded at the jail, so myself and Corporal Stanley came in to cover the shift. While there, our count was extremely high. I contacted the chief and the sheriff and let them know, look, at this point, we have, I think it was 274 inmates in the jail. We're only allowed to have 279, and we had 5 people hanging, waiting to be booked in. On the rack. So at that point, the sheriff contacted Houston County. I think he called the judge here, and they discussed us sending a minimum of 10 inmates over there to kind of bring our count down to where we would not be out of compliance with jail commission. So,
Also, the way the jail's set up, you might have some extra beds in the female section,
yes.
but if you run out of male beds, you're still out of compliance because you have to have a bed for that many males. We can't mix the 2, so that also
Yeah.
creates issues.
How many, let me ask you, I know a lot of times in past years we've had issues with the state as far as timely picking up their prisoners. Are we transporting now, or are they still picking up, or both?
Well, I think it's, they put out the list of people that they want to go on chain, and we transport to them, but we have to wait on that list.
Right.
So, and we have no idea how many or who or anything like that until they send that list out.
We may have 20 ready to go, but they may
Yes,
only
sir.
accept 5. Is that right?
Or 2.
Well, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So
I
we're
don't,
still housing the state prisoners,
yes.
per se, because of their not allowing us to transport them to their facility.
Correct.
There's a process, they have, what, 40-something?
Yeah, they have like, what is it, 45 days?
45 days.
45 days to pick them up. Previously, in the previous years, it was pretty routine. We were getting pretty good size change, from 11 to 15 inmates a week leaving. For some reason, that's dramatically slowed down. And that alone was one of the issues that caused the population to shoot up. I mean, we can't send them if they're not accepting them,
Sure.
so.
And that's 11 to 15 that's already been, sentenced to TDC?
Sentenced to TDC, the DA's office sent over what they call pen packs for these inmates. Sergeant Red is the one that gets those pen packs from the DA's office, and then he sends them on to TDC. Once they get them, then they process them, and then start adding them to the list where they see fit.
And there is a process that we have to go through once they're sentenced.
Yes.
I mean, we have to get them what they call paper ready, I guess, and getting
The
the
pen
package
pack,
ready.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
That takes a while to get that done. It's just not immediate, you know, so,
And then you have to send it to TDC, and then they have to accept them, everything's in order, and then you start the 45 days.
yeah, after that,
Yes.
so.
After that?
Process.
After that,
Process.
then you start counting 45 days.
Once
Yes,
they
sir.
approve it, then they start their.
They got 45 days to pick them up after we done, we
Yes,
got
sir.
our paper
After they
ready.
get their paperwork from us, then they have, that 45 days starts at that point. So, I mean, they might not get our paperwork for, say, 10 days or 15 days, however long it takes the DA's office to get us the pen pack, us to get it, process it, and mail it to TD. You can't do anything but mail it. You can't deliver it, you can't fax it, it has to be mailed in the mail. So that takes time. And then just, like I said, once they get the paperwork, then it starts the 45 days.
But we've had,
Yeah, that's what they strive to do, but they could wait
in
longer
other
than
words,
that.
you
if
say
they
it's not written in stone, that means it could be 50 days.
Exactly,
So it sounds like we got,
It's what the prison strives to do.
yeah.
so it sounds like we got a legislative problem to me.
But we've been in
They can't-
contact with them as well.
If they can't pick them up on time.
Right.
They've tried to help us as well on it, and normally they don't take 40-something days, normally it's.
Yeah,
3
normally
weeks
it's
at the
not.
most. So it's normally not a problem.
But if,
It's
but
just
if,
a lot of things back up all at one time, which magnifies this issue too.
Yes.
So it's a lot of things that's going on that causes us to back up. Summer months, it's always kills us
Busier.
during summer months. Winter months are okay, summer months, and it gets worse every year. And we've been feeling this for the last several years, but it's got to the point now where it's maxing out.
Yeah, we were able to manage it, you know, previously, but now it's to the point now to where everybody's having to work together to bring the population down.
And we've contacted all the courts, and they're working with us as well.
Yes, they are.
And the legislator and the county judge, everybody's trying to do their part to make this thing work. But in the summer months, it just gets to a point where you gotta have a few beds open to keep the jail running. You can't max out and then try to send one somewhere. You gotta plan ahead. If you don't have any available beds, you gotta close the doors, and
Yeah.
you can't do that.
Do we still take in federal prisoners?
No.
We're not doing that.
Once they're convicted of the fed time, they contact the feds, and the feds will come get them.
Okay.
Pretty quickly.
And this also does another thing, this contract we're trying to pass or get approved here. If something happens, if one of our cells shut down or something, we gotta have a contingency plan where we're gonna send these inmates. Because they might come in and say, the jail commission and close down a 28-man cell or something, and we're gonna be in a problem, we don't have nowhere to put them. So this also is a backup plan, contingency plan, in case something happened at our jail here, where we had to move some prisoners. So there's two reasons for it.
I'm sure it changes, but what's the average of state inmates that we're holding waiting to go over there? Can you put an average on it?
Not really,
The last time we checked, it was about 35, 30 inmates.
yeah,
That needed to be out of here?
yeah. And about 16 of them had already received pen packs and had them mailed to TDC. The rest, we were waiting on pen packs because they had just recently been convicted. Normally, the DA's office, they don't take long at all to get those pen packs, maybe less than a week, a few days. They're usually pretty good about getting them, getting them to us. So it's not a holdup with them or anything, it's just the entire process is a timely manner.
And you said we actually transport the inmates
Yes,
to TDC?
yes, sir.
So all we need from them is approval to take them,
That's it. We
basically.
just need that chain list that says these are the inmates that we want.
They paying us for transfer?
No.
Don't we get reimbursed for?
Yeah, we get a reimbursement.
We get reimbursed for that. If we transport a TDC prisoner, we submit reimbursement for that, and they pay for that.
What about funding for this, the $35 a day? Where's that funding coming from?
That $2,000 you wanted?
That's what I was afraid you was gonna say.
I think that.
We appreciate that contribution. The inmates appreciate that contribution.
Precinct 3 got it, get their money.
All right, y'all have any other questions?
I'll just say we miss Gerald. Gerald Goodman.
Yes, he did a tremendous job in keeping that count down.
He kept the number down.
He did.
We hadn't got nobody to replace him, have we?
No, sir.
If someone is convicted and that they're going to TDC, they're actually gonna go to TDC within 45 days or so?
They try.
Once they get the paperwork and stuff, they're pretty quick at back getting them on the test. I mean, it's not,
I mean, we don't hold them just to, you know.
we're not holding them just to hold them.
No.
No, they're paper ready, we send them paper ready on, and they go.
Find us a Gerald Goodman.
Judge Inselman and Judge Wilder are working diligently trying to keep the count down. They really are. I know there's not a whole lot they can do. They can't just push a case through just because the count's high, and we understand that. But, you know, they have really been on top of, keeping it up. Judge Inselman's done an outstanding job with that.
You know, there's just a lot of, as in this, there's a lot of moving parts. You
Right.
got prosecutors, you got defense attorneys, so, you know, you just.
So Terry, did you get an answer on that question you had about where actually the money's coming from? I mean, I'm just asking.
Why can't you use the reimbursement that we get? Because they're going to jail.
Yeah. We just have to come up with cost. Contingency, wherever we
Yeah,
find it.
okay. I'm just asking, because I
Precinct
don't know.
1.
We're hopefully we can hold that down as much as we can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll get them back
Yeah,
as soon as we possibly can, like, you know, our count was down Friday, but the chief and I discussed waiting until Monday to actually pick the inmates up, because we didn't know what the population was gonna do over the weekend.
Right.
Because that's when people are drinking and, you know, the population does rise, so, we waited until Monday, but our count was still, you know, it was manageable, so we picked them up yesterday.
But your number is 10 that you're trying to send over.
That was just the number we sent at that time. It
Okay.
might change.
We don't have
we might
any
need
over
it.
there right now.
No, sir, we have none there
Okay,
now.
okay. But it's not gonna get to like 35, 40 people.
Unless something catastrophic happens,
Yeah.
we don't want that.
Right, okay.
Man, we should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We will only send what's necessary, and I'm sure if we have to do this again, the chief and the sheriff will be, you know, getting with Judge Suter and everybody like they did before to let them know what's going on. It'll be everybody's gonna be on the same page.
We need the judge to sign this agreement.
Yes.
Yes.
How long does this interlocal agreement good for?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
And then I think renegotiable on a yearly basis after that. Is that right?
It is, but I believe,
It is renewable, Judge, although the way it's written, it does require approval by Commissioners Court of East County to renew it each year, so.
Does or does not?
It does.
Okay.
So,
Both us and Houston
Really?
County's gotta approve it?
Yes.
the way it's written, it's okay, it's required, yes, sir.
Is, the $35 a day a standard rate, or is that a rate that
It's
Houston?
actually pretty low.
Yeah, that's
Normally you
what I
pay
thought it
$45 to
was,
$50 a day per inmate anywhere else.
But that's.
$35 is a really good deal.
That's a
But Houston County sets it.
Yes, sir.
That's,
Yeah.
Offer motion to approve it with the county judge signing the
Second.
agreement.
All right, we got a motion and a second to approve this interlocal agreement between Angelina County and Houston County. Any other discussions or questions? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. We'll get
Thank
this
you.
signed. Y'all hang around? Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. It works.
All right, item number 8 on the agenda is discussion action on bids received for 2 trust properties in Angelina County, described as Lot 5 and Lot 6, Block 8, Henderson, Jordan addition. It's an addition to the city of Lufkin, Angelina County, described according to the map of plat, recorded volume 3, page 48. And the record of Angelina County, Texas, Lot 5, account number 48695, and Lot 6, account number 48696. There's pages here, you have a copy of this in your packet. These properties went to auction, and there was no bid, I think, received at the auction, so they went to a resale auction, and they did not sell, so they accepted bids on these. One of them, I think, got a bid of $351, and one of them got a bid of $500. As you can see, the court costs are more than what the bids were received on, so there will be no distribution of any of these funds to any of the taxing entities. But at least it will put these properties back on the tax rolls and hopefully start generating some property tax. Not sitting there in foreclosure. Billy, anything you want to add to that?
That's how you summed it all up pretty nicely.
I make a motion to put them back on the tax roll.
Second that.
All right. Got a motion and a second to approve these two bids for lot 5 and lot 6, in the amount of $351 for lot 5 and the amount of $500 for lot 6. Any other discussion or questions? Of course, this has to be approved by the other taxing entity before that'll go. They could very well not agree with that most time they do. Anyway, all in favor of that motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Item number 9 on the agenda is a discussion action on approving an order appointing the election judges and alternate judges, early voting locations and hours, judges and alternate judges for precinct, early voting ballot board signature committee, the central counting station manager, tabulation supervisor, tabulation assistant, and polling locations for the November 6, 2018 general election. Y'all have a copy of those that were submitted by Ms. Brown, our elected administrator. A copy of all those in your packet. You have the precinct box and the name of the judges and the alternate judge for each one of those boxes. Dates and times of polling locations and hours. Connie, anything you want to add to that?
No, sir, not as far as the information that you have there. We have right now, what we need to do.
Once again, we're combining a lot of the boxes. How many total polling places, locations do we have?
Election day, we will have 27 polling locations. Early voting, we will have 4. The main will be for 2 weeks, and then the 3 off-site, Southall, Huntington, and Zavalla will be for the second week, 4 days for the second.
The 27 polling locations on election day.
Yes.
Connie, if I understand this right, early voting, it doesn't matter what precinct you're in, you can still vote at any one of the early locations, is that correct?
Election day is the only one that we're held to, a voter must go to their
box.
precinct that's being held at that polling location. But we are going to be looking forward to talking with you guys about
Changing
voting
that.
centers.
I want us to try to advertise that a little more, because that was one question that several people brought up to me. In the primary, they weren't aware that they could actually vote in a different location early.
Early voting.
Yeah, but that just comes from us trying to educate the voters a little more. Maybe Lufkin Daly and KTR help us out. I make a motion to approve.
A second.
We've got a motion and a second to approve these appointment of the election and judges and alternate judges, polling locations and hours, precinct judges, ballot board signature committee, central counting station manager, tabulation supervisor, assistant, polling locations for the November 6th general election. It's a lot. Any other questions, comments? Connie's here to answer them if you need. Hearing none, all in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. I'll pass this around, then we all have to sign this.
Hmm?
This one going that way. I thought I just signed two of them, I got one of them. All right, thank you, gentlemen. All right, item number 10 on the agenda is a closed session in accordance with section 551087. The Angelina County Commissioner Court will enter into a closed meeting. The following purpose is to deliberate regarding economic development negotiations. It's now 10:36 a.m. We will go into closed session and we will return to open session as soon as we finish our negotiations. So if y'all want to just hang out outside for a few minutes, we'll call back to open